Good afternoon, everyone. This is Leah Dixon in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am popping in for kind of an extra video. I normally do just my Tuesday morning lives, but it's a quiet Sunday afternoon here, and I thought I would hop on and share with you some information about an upcoming stamp camp that I'm a part of. So I'm going to actually switch my camera over to my desktop so I can show you the product that I'm going to be creating with today and share a bit of information with you about the upcoming stamp camp. Right, let's just see here if I can figure out. There we go. Awesome. So if you pop on, just leave a little comment in the messages. I love to see who's on and watching and say hi and everything. So the product that I have here is the Sweet Little Stockings Suite minus the felt. So what we have is a stamp set, a really, really cute little stamp set with the puppy, the cat, and I don't know, the hamster, gerbil, or whatever he is. And some nice little sentiments to go with that. So we've got the stamp set, we have the dies that go with it, and these dies are awesome because they cut out the three little critters, the three stockings, and then some kind of fun extra bits, like so the tips of the stockings, the top of the stocking, some holly, bows, stars, like you name it, even the candy cane. And then we've got these awesome the awesome label tag as well that goes with the dies. So the dies that match this are fabulous. And then the other parts that we have in this suite are the Pool Party striped grosgrain ribbon, the matte decorative dots, so you get them in the 4 colors, and they're actually like ombre, and then a wide range of sizes as well. And then the absolutely beautiful designer series paper, and of course, like all of Stampin' Up's designer series paper, it's actually double-sided, so some of the sides have animals, you can cut them out, use them as a fun background. The other sides have like patterns and stuff like that, and then I'll just flip these over and show you the other side to each of these. They've even got the grumpy cat with the antlers, too cute. Oh, hi Val! I know, it's still a perfect afternoon to be in the craft room. It's a little bit smoky here. Hi, Julie. And then we've got the stockings as well. What I love about these stockings is the dies fit on here and cut these out as well. So if you're not wanting to kind of color in stockings and stuff, you've got some ready to go stockings on this paper. So that's kind of the full suite. There's also some coordinating felt, but I mostly make cards, and I find that I just really don't use felt in my card making. So I didn't grab that part. So I'm just going to put some of this off to the side here so I have some space to create. So I'm going to be creating a card today using most of these pieces. And just wanted to kind of give you guys a sense of what this stamp set's all about, because I do have an upcoming stamp camp. Registration it begins today, but if you're wanting to order the suite to earn free access, you'll have to wait till August 3rd to do that, because it's actually, this suite isn't available yet to customers. As a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I get to do a pre-order, and so I was able to order it early, but on August 3rd our new mini catalog goes live, and then people can purchase that, and purchasing this suite minus the felt gets you free admission into the stamp camp that I'm doing. And so there's a host code and everything, and it's, I've put the link into the description of the video if you're interested in that, especially after seeing what fun we can have with this stamp set. So the first thing I'm doing here is I cut a piece of designer series paper down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to attach it to a card base, and this is just a thick basic white card base. And so I've just glued that on, and there we have our very fast background. And now we're going to have some fun with the stamps and dies and creating some fun elements. So first things first, I've got this piece of basic white, and it's just a standard piece of basic white, like just a scrap that I had laying around. I'm going to pull in my mini boss. I'm going to use the nice label from our die set to cut this piece out. Now my scrap, there we go, my scrap's actually too big. So I'm just going to cut it down so that it fits into my mini boss. So let's see here. The die I'm going to be using is less than 3 inches wide. My die fits in the mini boss. It's just my paper that doesn't. So there we go. Just cut down my paper so that it fits. Pop my die on here, and we'll run that one through. Now I went ahead and I made the mistake of creating a speed bump with my die. I'm just going to turn it around so that it's leading with the point. Dies don't always like to go straight onto a flat edge. There we go. Alright. You even heard the big bang as it went off that end that I had the big speed bump created on. Alright, sorry I just got really crooked on you guys. There we go. So there is our fun little tag that we cut out using that tag die from our stamps, or from our die set. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of interest to the background of this by actually embossing it. So these two folders come together. They're called the Wintry 3D embossing folders. They're actually in our annual catalog. And I'm going to use this gorgeous snowflake one today to just create some interest on the background of our tag without having to add any color or anything like that. Oh, I know, Val, the mini boss is so handy. Alright, so I'm actually going to grab plate 1 and plate 3, and then my folder, and we're going to give this a go. Now, I think that's the right combo. I might actually need... Oh, yeah, no, actually I need plate 1 and 4 because I'm using a 3D embossing folder, not a regular one. Alright, so we're going to pop down plate 1, put our tag into the folder. Now, I'm actually putting my tag in and like being quite specific about choosing where my snowflakes fall on my tag because I want to make sure that there's a nice little snowflake up in the top corner. So I've put that, I kind of lined up the pattern where I want it before I put my paper in. There we go. And now, oh, let's get this going. So this is my first time actually embossing with my mini boss. And I'm having some troubles getting it to go through. I think it's because of the surface I'm on. Let's give this a try here. Okay, so let's stagger these a bit and see if that helps. There we go. Nope, still not. Oh, I might end up having to play with this a little bit more because I actually haven't done. There we go, let's try that. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to run this over to my big machine. I'm going to give it one more go here on a more solid surface. And then I'm going to run it over to my big machine so we don't waste too much time. And I'll come back with tips and tricks for you guys on how to do this. Yeah, let's just try that. Nope, that's not going to go. Okay, I'm going to give this a go and play around with it and give you guys some tips and tricks on how to do that. There we go. For today, I've got that one all done. And Val, I know you use yours a lot. If you've got any tricks on how to do the 3D embossing with the mini, let me know. That's the first time I've tried that because I actually didn't have any mini embossing folders until I got those wintry ones. So, yeah, we'll give that a try and play with that. Alright, so we've got that done. Now, I put my card base off to the side. We'll pull it back in. We're going to take our little tag that we created there, and we're going to use some dimensionals to pop this up on our card base. There we go. So get those going on the background. And so pop that down. And I'm putting it into kind of the lower right-hand corner so that I'm leaving the room for my sentiments that I'm going to put on little paper strips. So sentiment is the next thing I'm going to add onto here. So I've got just a scrap of crumb cake, and I've put the sentiment Christmas greetings onto a block. And I just knocked a whole bunch of stuff over. There we go. I am going to ink this up with my Versamark, and then I'm going to emboss this with white Stampin' Emboss powder. So there we go. So I just stamp with Versamark, and then I don't even have to rush really. Versamark stays quite sticky for a while. Just going to grab my tray of white embossing powder. So I actually keep my white embossing powder just out in an open tray. That's how much I use it. And then I'll just tap off the excess. And now there is a little bit there that's sticking, so I've just got the tiniest little paintbrush that I keep with my embossing materials just to loosen up any little bits that don't want to go when I tap on the back. There we go. Alright, so with that powder on there, I'm going to plug in my heat tool, and we're going to heat this up. There we go. So that's all embossed now. And the next thing I'm going to do, oh, here we go. Use your base plate, one clear plate, and cardboard shim. Oh, okay. We'll definitely have to play around with that, Val. So next thing I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to cut this sentiment out. I'm going to start actually by trimming it up. Oh, I have white cardstock on here. Interesting. Oh, right, because I just cut a piece. So I'm going to start by trimming this up on here, fairly close to the top of that sentiment. I didn't want to try and stamp on a super thin piece. That's why I'm doing this kind of after the fact. Okay, and then it's not even 3/4 of an inch. It's just slightly less than that I'm trimming at the bottom. And then I'm going to trim up the end where it says Christmas. So I'm trying to get this really quite close to my actual stamping. And then I'm also going to cut between the words Christmas and greetings. So I've actually separated those. So now I've got two little pieces here that say Christmas greetings. Now I think I might even trim that up a little bit more. I'm getting quite close to, oh, I should have done this, there we go. Should have done it the other way so that my paper didn't slide, because it's so small now, it's not even really gripping with the paper trimmer. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'll show you. If I go the other way and start from the bottom and go up, then it cuts a bit better. Oh, it ended up tearing it though. Darn it. Okay, guess it's time to replace my blades. How do you find out it's time to replace your blades? Darn. Okay, let's see if I can salvage this. I think I can. There we go. Alright, that one's good. So, there we have our greeting created now. And I'm actually just going to trim up this one as well. There. And there. Sometimes low tech is the best. Instead of trying to use all the fancy tools, just grab your scissors. There we go. That's all trimmed up and looking good. So we've got our sentiment now for our card. Next thing we need to do is create our little puppy dog stockings. So I've got some scrap papers, and I'm truly going to pull in like all sorts of itty bitty scraps here because the things we're stamping are nice and small, so they're perfect for using up these little scraps that we get. So first thing I'm going to stamp in here is our little Santa hat. That's like the perfect size, and I think that's all I'm going to be able to fit on there, so I'm just going to tear that off. I've got another little scrap to use for something else. And then I'm just going to see if this piece is wide enough for a stocking. I don't think it is. Oh, maybe. That'd be pretty tight, though. I'm not going to try that. Alright, we'll put our puppy dog face onto that scrap. So I'm going to put my stocking on here. There we go. And so I'm just using Memento black ink to stamp these images. And then, let's see, we've got our puppy dog face. He's quite round, though, so I don't think I've got a scrap that's going to accommodate him either. So we'll just pop him on there. Alright, let's save those for another project. Okay, so once we have those three images stamped in our Memento black ink, I'm going to grab some blends to color these. So I'm going to use the light cherry cobbler, and I'm going to color our Santa hat using that. And so do you want to go quite lightly, or perhaps even use the finer tip as you're going near the edges so that you don't go outside of the image. Got that done. And then I'm also going to color the inside of our stocking. So I'm going to start by doing this delicate piece here up at the trim. And I'm going to do the bit on the other side as well. So it's just kind of an up and down. And I'm trying to be very light with my motions here so that it doesn't put too much ink onto the page and bleed through. And then from there I'm going to follow the back of the stocking and just color in between those lines. I can go back and blend where it's like going over, but first of all I just want to get a good solid layer on there. Excellent. And then once I've got that good layer on there, I'll just come back in and do some blending. There we go. Alright. Excellent. So that's done. It's just a little bit of finicky work trying to get that stocking colored in, but once that part's done, it's easy. Next up, I'm going to take our old olive, and I'm using the dark old olive and the very fine tip because now I'm just coloring in that little trim. Hopefully as I'm doing this, I'm not putting my head into the camera space. I'm trying to come in just a little bit closer so I have a better view of what I'm doing. Alright, with that done, I'm going to grab Bermuda Bay, and this is my dark Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to color that whole strip that goes across in Bermuda Bay. And then finally I'm going to do the top and the bottom of my stocking in Dark Pool Party. And I'm going to use the larger paintbrush end just so I can get a lot of coverage here fairly quickly. There we go. And then come up to the top and do the same thing. So I'm going a bit darker over where that stitching is and along the back side of the stocking. There you go. Alright. And that is our stocking colored. Finally, I'm going to grab crumb cake. I'm going to use both the dark and the light crumb cake. And we're going to color in our little puppy dog. So for this one, I'm going to use the thicker tip. And I'm just going to really kind of messily color any areas that have kind of like already the little shading to them, as well as our little puppy paws there, just where his toes are showing. Okay, next thing is I'm going to take the fine end of this and color everything in with it. The reason I'm using the fine end is because I find that it's actually a darker color than the broad paint stroke end, and so it's actually better for actually doing the blending that I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make it not look like we've got these darker patches. Just kind of let the color fade. And so that's what that finer tip is actually really good at doing. And then I'm going to come in across the top of his head with my more of a paintbrush tip and kind of come down around his nose. There we go. So he's got the little white eye patches. Okay, so that is, actually that looks kind of weird. I'm not going to leave white eye patches. I'm going to color in around his face as well. Then we'll come in and do it a little bit darker down the bridge of his nose. There we go. Okay, so then I'll just come in still with the light, but I'm using that darker fine tip again, just to create a little bit of difference between his face and his eye area. All right, so those are all of our little bits colored in now, and we're going to bring in our mini boss again and cut these out. So I'm going to grab plate 2. I think it's my plate 3. Ooh, throwing things around. Plate 3, plate 2, and then my images to die cut. Alright, and we'll grab the dies here. So, like I said, we have a die for the hat, we have a die for the puppy dog's face, and we have a die for the stocking. So all of these are going to get cut out so quickly. It's so nice not to have to fussy cut these kinds of things. Okay, there we go. So I mentioned earlier that if you grab the suite minus the felt, that gets you free access into the upcoming stamp camp. If you're a demo, or already you're like, oh, I have a lot of stocking stamps and stuff like that, then another way to get access to our stamp camp is to order just the kind of embellishments pack. You get half a pack of the Designer Series paper, half a roll of the ribbon, a full pack of the embellishments, and then of course all the bits to make the cards. And that one's $59, and you just contact me and pay me directly for that, and then I'll divvy up the product and send it your way along with all the bits for the card class and everything. And then if you are in the States, unfortunately we can't sell product to you here from Canada, but we do have an option for people who are outside of Canada to join in. Oh, I know, Norma, isn't this stamp set just the sweetest? Okay, so now that we have all of our bits cut out, we're actually going to attach them to our card, and I'm being super lazy and just attaching everything with dimensionals. No glue dots, no nothing. I love how fast and easy dimensionals are. So I'm just going to put that stocking on a bit of an angle, and then I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of our dog's head. Kind of stay away from his paws because that's actually going to overlap onto your stocking, so you don't want the dimensional getting in the way. And then same thing with the hat. We're going to put a dimensional on the hat, but stay away from the base of the hat where it's going to overlap onto his head so that the dimensional doesn't get in the way. We'll pop his little Santa Claus hat on. So sweet. Okay, now next thing is this sentiment. And so I want to make sure that I'm getting my dimensionals in the right place. So I want them off of my white base. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to just put one underneath the G for greetings. Now at this point, if you wanted to do like a little dab of seal or a mini glue dot or something so that it attaches to the tag as well, you could do that. So, of course, today's the day when none of my tools are working. Okay, and I'm going to do that and just bring it right over to my stocking tip. Now you can use the design on your DSP to kind of help you get this straight because the DSP has those lined patterns there. Alright, grab a dimensional. So again, just want the dimensional under the C on Christmas, not over on the other side. And I'm going to stagger those, pop that on like that. Okay, we are almost done, but it wouldn't be a nice Christmas card without a little bit of something, a ribbon or some embellishment. So I think I'm going to use some of these, and let's see, I feel like I want something down here, so maybe a couple like that, and one more up near his hat or down, maybe right there. No. Maybe on the tip of his hat? No, we want it off the hat. There we go. So just kind of like that. Actually, I'm not sure I like that. I think I'm going to move those. So I haven't really pressed them down too hard yet, which is good because it means that I can now move them around on my card. Oh, I've also got a hair attached. Yuck. Okay, come on. There we go. Then I'm going to move this one. I'm going to put this down here near the base of his stocking. I like that a bit better. Kind of rounds it all out. Okay, and now our final touch is, of course, a little bit of glitz. I've got my Winka Stella, and I'm going to add it to the pom-pom and the brim of our puppy dog's hat. And then a little bit on our stocking, just where we put that Bermuda Bay trim. Just a little bit of sparkle there. All right. So I know it's really hard for you guys to see that on the camera, to see that glitz from the Winka Stella, but man, in person, does it ever make a difference. It's so cute adding that little bit of bling there. So that is our Sweet Little Stockings stamp set, and well, actually full suite and everything. Oh, thank you, Julie. And yeah, so I have that stamp camp coming up. I'm just going to switch my camera view here. There we go. So thanks so much for joining me for the card today. And yeah, check out the details about the stamp camp. I also wanted to let you know that I have one more spot left in my product share. So you can either choose, to join one of the product shares, like the embellishments, the ribbons, the designer series paper, or join in on the I Want It All share. And I do have one more open space in that, so if you want to check out all the details about that, and let me know before Tuesday. All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye.